optic think tanks, landlords, and the arms industry is what dominated the Conservative conference last week. I'm going to read into this more from Open Democracy, guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is REGANELITE here with an article from Open Democracy with the headline that Opaque, think tanks, landlords, and the arms industry had dominated the Conservative conference. Lobby groups and big businesses had a front row seat with cabinet ministers in Manchester last week. I say this week because the article is obviously from last week, but I think obviously given that I haven't been able to cover any actual stories last week on the Tory conference, I thought this one in particular really should be cause for concern. Outsiders of the main hall at the Tory conference, corporate sponsorship ran wild. Yeah, they've got an iron grip on the Conservative Party, that is for sure, guys. So, opacely funded think tanks, lobbying groups, the arms and tobacco industries, and fossil fuel firms were front and centre at this year's Conservative Party conference, hosting panel conversations and events with some of the most senior party figures. Now, right off the bat, I just want to point something out. Hold on, didn't Rishi Sunak want to do some kind of outright smoking ban? Surely they would have said something about that policy. Don't know about you, that's a bit one, a bit of a tobacco one. Rishi Sunak and cabinet ministers set out their vision for the future in Manchester. It is what's likely the last party conference before a general election. Yeah, it was a pretty barnyard of speeches, shall we say? Some absolutely some bonkers speeches from them. To be fair, guys. But outside in the main hall, corporate sponsorship ran wild. Business leaders, including representatives from the gambling and social media companies, paid up to $3,300 to dine with ministers in charge of key policy decisions with no record of what was discussed. Obviously, taking more money out of taxpayers' money and putting it into their pockets, clearly. Policy Exchange, a think tank that does not disclose its funding, has a track record of influencing government policy, hosted a range of events. One session, 2030 and beyond, competing the long-term capital in the climate transition, featured a net zero minister, Claire Coutinho, and a director from Energy UK, a fossil fuel lobbying body which also sponsored the event. How can a fossil fuel body lobby? I don't get it. I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. Open Democracy revealed last year that Policy Exchange helped write the UK's controversial Police Crime Sentencing and Courts Act after urging the government to pass legislation to target Extinction Rebellion, that's XR in brackets, in a 2019 report, which was given the lowest possible transparency rating in Open Democracy's Who Fund You project earlier this year. But an investigation by this website in 2022 found the think tank had taken cash from US oil giant ExxonMobil. The oil lobbying firms. What a surprise. Open Democracy also revealed last month that Coutinho has ties to the think tank. Are we really that surprised? We're not, are we, guys? Another of its panel titled Practical Solutions to the Housing Crisis was chaired by a representative of Policy Exchange and featuring Housing Minister Rachel McLean and Director of the Clariton, the UK's largest housing association, which sponsored the event. Clariton had been found guilty of severe malnutrition on multiple occasions by the Housing Ombudsman for mishandling of damp and mould and failure to repair properties, costing it thousands of pounds in fines. Yeah. Don't really why a company like that should be anywhere near. Never mind Labour, but Conservative conference. Like, you're gonna leave people in some of those conditions are damn right disgusting. Like, treated worse than animals. Some people are. They really are disgusting. At these events, it is common for sponsors to request certain questions to be asked as part of the panel in order to shape the discussion. Policy Exchange also hosted a panel on the war in Ukraine featuring Defence Secretary Grant Shapps and sponsored by weapons and manufacturer Boeing. The Institute of Economic Affairs, the IEA, known for being the architect of Liz Truss's infamous mini budget, also ran fringe events at the Conservative Party conference alongside the Taxpayers Alliance. They are nasty. They need to stay away from power. They're too dangerous. They are. Both think tanks were given the lowest possible transparency rating in Open Democracy's Who Funds You project and have received millions of pounds in donations from undisclosed American funders. The think tanks hosted panel discussions on issues such as immigration, the civil service, the NHS, which they want to privatise, if not already privatised, and features MPs including Jacob Rees-Mogg. Well, him being a part of it is not a surprise. They also held private drinks events after hours with free wine and beers and a selection of literatures from the think tanks, such as one on vaping. Business and Trade Secretary Kimi Baganosh gave a speech at one of these events, alluding to her positive relationship with the group, saying that she was happy she could support two friends at the same time. She also thanked the TPA for its working, which she says she found helpful. One talk on the nanny state versus consumer's choice had a panelist of Japan's Tobacco International, which have reportedly worked with the IEA and has openly opposed the government's regulation on tobacco. The panel also featured MP Philip Davis, who it was revealed earlier this year had lobbied Culture Secretary Lucy Fraser over gambling laws on behalf of a casino. Bright Blue, a think tank with partners such as National Housing Federation and National Residential Landlords Association, the NRLA, hosted a panel discussion with Housing Minister Rachel McLean, sponsored by the NRLA. During it, the Minister assured the audience, mainly large upper landlords, that renters aren't all weed-smoking bad people in gangs. Renters are struggling as it is, and you're just going to mock them. The Labour Party will hold its own conference in Manchester, which is happening now. Open Democracy revealed it would hold a fringe event sponsored by arms manufacturers, fossil fuel companies, and spy tech firm. Yeah, they will be having those events at the Labour Party conference. But we won't hear anything about that, will we? Are we surprised by these lobby groups at a Conservative conference? No. Are we surprised that some of these are going to be at a Labour conference? I was initially surprised when I covered it when Open Democracy had the article, and we did cover it. I can't remember if we did a long or short video, but if I find the link, I'll bring it. I'll look it up for you. But I just think these private companies and that, they just have way too much hands in our government, guys, and they need to be stomped out. It's just not right for them to have this close of a relationship with politicians, and their money is influencing government decision, and it needs to stop, and it needs to stop now. Never mind when Labour come into power, it needs to stop now. It's too dangerous. What do you guys think? Are you surprised by this? As frustrating as it is for me to see these lobbying groups getting their greedy little hands on government policy and dictating them that's benefit to them and not for the needs of the British public. Let me know down in the comments section below what you guys think. Like, share and subscribe as always. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to catch you all very, very soon.